أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. I hope you all are doing really well. It's been a while since I saw you guys. I'm very excited to be back on About Islam again, alhamdulillah. This time actually we're coming to you, I'm from in the United Kingdom right now, but we're actually coming to you through Zoom, which is something quite new. It's fantastic, yeah, mashallah. Today, really, I want to talk to you about the character of our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are so many different things to say when we're talking about our beloved Prophet. But what I want to start off is actually what is to me, the heart of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And because we can't talk about Islamic character and we can't talk about the Prophet, peace be upon him, without talking about mercy. We have to talk about mercy, because really this encompassed everything he was, everything he did, and this was, I would say, a central pillar in his behavior and in his character. But then, in order to consider mercy of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we also have to think about where that mercy comes from. And of course, we have to talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we start at the foundation and what surrounds everything, and that is our creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the beginning of our surahs, at the beginning of our salah, when we go into a room, when we do pretty much everything we do, we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we're going to start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But actually, let's look at the two names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, because both these names come from Ar-Rahmah, which means mercy. And when we look at the translations, especially as converts or maybe people who aren't fluent in Arabic or who haven't learned the linguistics of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, actually the meaning of these words is really debated and discussed and thought about and considered by our ulama, by the scholars. Why? Because both of the words, as I said, come from Ar-Rahmah. So both the words, even though we're told in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most compassionate, or we're told other things, actually when we look at the Arabic, it comes from mercy, the mercy. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh actually says to us that Rahim sounds softer than Rahman. So let's look at those two words and see how they're used in the Quran, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses those to present his own attributes. So there's more implication of a particular type of mercy when we talk about Ar-Rahim. Bismillahir Rahman Ar-Rahim. But it's hard to translate to English. But the slight difference, and Al-Farisi, rahimahullah, explains, Ar-Rahman includes every type of mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers us and has, subhanallah. Every type of mercy that Allah has, that's Ar-Rahman. Every type of mercy that Allah gives to us, whether we're Muslim, we're non-Muslim, it's animals, it's the plants, it's mercy on everything. This is Ar-Rahman, Rahmah. But actually, what we see is that other scholars say, even though Ar-Rahman is the whole of creation, Ar-Rahim is reserved for who? For the believers. So Rahman is for everything, and Rahim is reserved for the believers. Because Allah's mercy encompasses all of creation. Even remember the story when the Fir'aun of Musa alayhi salam, the Fir'aun is drowning in the sea, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has split the sea, and then the Fir'aun and his troops have gone into the sea, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the sea back down on them. We all know the story. But we know also that in the hadith, Jibreel alayhi salam is so nervous that Fir'aun will get Allah's forgiveness, that he goes down to the bottom of the sea, he dives down to the bottom of the sea, and he stuffs the mud from the bottom of the ocean into the mouth of Fir'aun, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to forgive. He's Ar-Rahman, subhanAllah. He's Ar-Ghafur, he's Ar-Rahim. So this rahmah encompasses everything. So even people who either don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people who even hate Islam, they will still get Allah's rahmah. They will still get Allah's rahmah, the rizq, the provision that they go home with, the wage or the food or whatever to feed their families. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is part of Allah's rahmah. So imagine how great this rahmah is. We can't. It's too big. So let's move to the word Rahim, Ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really is referring to the believers. Where do we see that? We see that, for example, in Surah 33, verse 43. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا, and He is ever merciful to the mu'minina, to the believers. So the link here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Rahman ar-Rahim, and so much so that so many different types of mercy are presented by Allah. Now, when we move that over to the character of the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we see that mercy and the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they are also deeply connected. Aisha radhiyallahu anha said in a hadith that is narrated by Muslim, verily the character of the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the Quran. The character of the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the Quran. When we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promoting mercy in the Quran, then we also see the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is reflected in that Quran like a mirror. Subhanallah. He is the walking Quran. And actually, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Al-Anbiya, He says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَى رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have sent you for no other reason but to be a mercy, رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, a mercy for all of what? All of mankind. Some translations say mankind, brothers and sisters. Some translations say worlds. Some translations say all beings. There are many different translations. Why? Because alameen really has such a wide meaning in this context. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, which usually it's translated to the worlds, the Lord of the worlds, right? Rabbil Alameen. But here we have Rahmatan lil Alameen, but Alameen, it's referring to the mercy of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that was given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him as a mercy for us, for all the worlds, for all of mankind, not just for mankind, for the jinn, for the animals, subhanallah. Now let's do one more reflection on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we're talking about the mercy of Allah, we can't not use this hadith. We can't think about this hadith, where we are told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divides His mercy into 100 parts, 99 parts He keeps, He retains, and just one part, maybe 1% if you like, if you want to put it into numerical terms, 1% of Allah's rahmah, Allah's mercy is on the earth. Now, I want you to think right now, my brothers and sisters, I want you to think about your day today or your day yesterday. Maybe you stayed in the house all day today. Maybe yesterday, maybe the weekend, you did something, you went out. Have a think about examples of mercy that you saw in front of you, or maybe an example of mercy that you did for somebody else, or that was done to you. Or that maybe you saw somebody give a child something, or you saw an animal do a good thing for another animal. My brothers and sisters, you will not fail to see Allah's mercy, and that's just one part of the mercy. Amazing, subhanallah. Now, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we're going to be looking really, I could spend days and days talking about his character, days and days talking about his manners and the way he was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we're going to talk about several key things. And the first one of those key things, my brothers and sisters, is non-judgment of others and encouraging people to forgive one another. Don't you think we live in a society right now where forgiveness seems to have given way for us almost being encouraged to judge one another? We find it very easy to judge one another, but we don't find it easy to forgive one another. Even if we know that somebody is feeling sorry for what they've done, we find it hard to forgive them, maybe because our pride or our nafs or many other different reasons. Now, it was encouraged by the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to forgive other people. This is part of manners, it's part of character. And it's related in the hadith literature that a man comes to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and with this guy is the person who has murdered his relative. I want you to imagine for a moment that this is you, my brothers and sisters, that you have your relative whom you love very much has been murdered, and you've got the murderer with you. Are you going to go? You're going to go nuts, right? You're going to want to really, really do something to get your anger out and get your justice. Because remember, my brothers and sisters, justice is it's your haq, it is your right, of course. Now, so the man comes to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with this murderer, and the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, "Forgive him, pardon him," and the man refuses. So the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Take the blood money," and the man refuses again. So the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then says to the man, "Go and kill him because you are the same as him. Go and kill him because you're the same as him." At this point, the man realizes what the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, and it touches his heart, and then he lets the murderer of his relative go with nothing. Subhanallah. How many of us, my brothers and sisters, could do this? How many of us would have the manners not to judge or not to go crazy or not to be swearing or really getting so angry? Subhanallah. But the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam just encourages khair and forgiveness. And when the person refuses, he is given a harsh reminder. He is given a harsh reminder that actually it's better for us, my brothers and sisters, if we deal with our situations, if we deal with even our negative situations, it's better for us, our own hearts. And it's better for our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we deal with things in a peaceful and a nice and a forgiving manner. Of course, my brothers and sisters, if something happened to you, maybe somebody attacked you, maybe somebody killed one of your relatives, maybe somebody has done some injustice and continues doing this injustice to you. Subhanallah. Now, the first thing we need to say here is that although we forgive, it's also very important, especially if somebody is being oppressed and the oppression is ongoing and the harm is being done to someone, that us as an ummah, as a community, that we do everything we can to stop that oppression. But at the same time, and it's like simultaneously, at the same time as stopping the oppression on somebody and removing that oppressor and making sure that the victim is safe, it's also our duty to encourage forgiveness, subhanAllah. Even if that person is being punished in the dunya, even if they've gone to prison, they've gone through the court system, it's better for our hearts and for our relationship with Allah to forgive. Now we look at the life of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there were so many incidents where he demonstrated these amazing manners, this beautiful, beautiful behavior. When he would join a group of people, for example, he would sit down on the same level as the people except if he's joining a social group. When he's doing a khutbah, of course, he has to stand on a higher place in order to deliver a speech and that people can hear him. Otherwise, nobody's going to be able to hear him. But it was never the case that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would sit on some glorious throne, or that he would put himself higher than other people. Because in Islam, this is not only bad manners, my brothers and sisters, it's also a way to open the door to the shayateen, to give you the encouragement to do what? To get a little bit proud. Look at me, I'm special. Look at me, I'm sitting on a throne. Subhanallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would intentionally sit on the same level as the people. And this is not just our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We see this type of behavior reflected in other prophets. So for example, when Yusuf alayhi salam, when he speaks to the Ahl al-Sajan, to the people of the Sajan, the people of the prison, he's there as an innocent man. He knows that he's not a criminal and they are criminals. However, when he speaks with respect, and he speaks in a way that promotes togetherness, promotes trust. Because, my brothers and sisters, how can we give the message of Islam? And here we look at the behavior of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How can we give the message of Islam if, as Muslims, we feel ourselves to be higher than other people? Until we can open somebody's heart and see what's inside, we cannot judge any human being, my brothers and sisters. We can't do that. We cannot do that until we open their hearts and see inside. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam only knew who are the munafiqeen, who are the hypocrites, because Jibreel alayhi salam told him, not because he could open the heart and see himself. When strangers would come to find the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to speak to him, the Rasulullah, he is a very, very important person, even at the time, even in the early days of Islam. He has this status in the community, in society. He doesn't have the money, but he has a good family background, subhanallah. But when strangers would come to see the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he looked so much and was on the level so much of the Sahaba, or the people who he was around. The strangers would need to ask, where is Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Where is he? Who is he? There's very famous hadiths on this, my brothers and sisters, that we know that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so humble in his behavior. He is so good in his manners that he's not going to raise his voice. He keeps a certain tone of voice. And even when he was angry, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it would only show because his face would become red and he would turn his head away from whatever he was angry with. Only his body language. He would not be screaming and shouting and having a tantrum and swearing and all these things. Subhanallah. Why? Because his manners were so beautiful. When he was even talking to others, and a lot of this, my brothers and sisters, you will notice about communication, sitting in a group on the same level, it's about communication. Even the way he would sit with other people when he was talking one-to-one was very, very important. And it was done in such a way that that person would feel that they were on a level with him. If any of you guys out there are teaching, maybe kids or people who are vulnerable, you will probably have been taught when you did your teaching training that when you are speaking to someone, and actually people in business, people in leadership, you will have the same thing. When you are speaking to someone, you don't just turn your head to them, because this is negative language, negative body language. You turn your whole body. Like, how would you guys feel if I was giving this lecture to you, but actually I was turning my back on you and I wasn't looking at you? Like, you're going to be like, this woman's rude, man. This woman doesn't want to communicate properly. She's just not interested in us. She's just talking. But if you see the art of body language, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he turned to face someone, when he was speaking to someone, he would turn his whole body to face them. Like, there's nothing more irritating, because sometimes family members do it to each other, don't we? We do that to each other sometimes. And we'll have a conversation, but at the same time, we're like on the phone or watching the TV or like doing anything except fully engaging. And then we pass this on to our kids and we pass this on to our community. How many times, my brothers and sisters, do we see now maybe a Muslim couple in a restaurant eating their food together, clearly on some kind of like romantic evening out, and they're not even communicating with one another, and they barely look up from their phones to look at one another, and we wonder why there are so many divorces, my brothers and sisters. We have to get back into the real world and communicate like the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Now, the example of this face-to-face comes in a very famous hadith where Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel Jibreel alayhi salam, has come to check in with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to actually check that the message of Islam is being given in a particular way, in the correct way. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it is, he sends it as like almost an assessment. Now, when the angel Jibreel alayhi salam comes along, he comes in the form of a human being. He comes in the form of a man. And this is when some of the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, they saw this, and he's wearing these bright white clothes and they're clean, even though he's come across the desert. He's wearing these clean white clothes. And when he speaks to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are sitting face to face, kneeling down. So I want you to imagine this is two people kneeling down. So this is the angel, this is the prophet, and they're sitting and their knees are touching and they are facing straight on, like I'm facing you right now. How many of us, when we're speaking to our loved ones even, do this sunnah? How many of us do this? We've been shown how to communicate. We've been shown by the best of examples how to communicate in the best of ways, in the most polite of ways, with the best etiquette, my brothers and sisters. Yet still we choose maybe not to do that. So next time, inshallah, when we're communicating with somebody, think of the hadith of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Think of the way he communicated. Think of the way Jibreel alayhi salam communicates with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and emulate that to please Allah. And when you please Allah, just turning and speaking to somebody in a certain way will become ibadah. It will become an act of worship for you, my brothers and sisters. So then what maybe was just like a normal conversation and it didn't really have much benefit in it from you, actually that conversation maybe will take you to Jannat al-Firdaus, inshallah ta'ala. Now, the third thing about communication, which is a thing that a lot of people are guilty of, is not making whispers or secrets when you're in a group. Because there's nothing that feels worse than if you're sitting with a couple of friends and those friends are having a private conversation and you're just sitting there like, what is happening here? It's really, really impolite, my brothers and sisters, and it alienates people from you. So this is another thing about the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he encouraged people, do not make secrets or whispers in front of other people who are in your group. If you want to go and have a one-to-one conversation with somebody, go and have it in private after that gathering has ended, instead of making people feel kind of paranoid and like they're being talked about, because it puts a fitna, a problem between people, even just if that's a little bit of fitna in that other person's heart. And then what will happen, even if that bit of negativity in that heart was nothing, then the shaitan will come along and try and separate that person from your group, and will give him or her wiswas, and will, oh, look, he's talking, those guys, they were talking about you, they were saying bad stuff about you, you shouldn't mix with them anymore. So then that person's out of the group, and the result could be that they go to a group that is not good for them. And that's just because we said some secret that could actually have waited. Pretty much anything can wait, right? Subhanallah. Now, when it comes to the matter of salam, the matter of giving peace, when the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered Medina at the Hijrah time, one of the first things that he said was, "Oh, my people, spread salam, spread peace." Now, when we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, when we are giving this greeting to our brothers and sisters, or maybe we say peace to somebody who is not a Muslim, we just say peace to you, or something of that effect, then we have to also act that peace out in our own lives. How many of us will go to the masjid and we'll give our salams, and then maybe we go and our home is full of chaos. Our home is full of arguing and shouting and not full of salam. So my brothers and sisters, we must try and practice salam, first of all, within our own hearts, to really bring ourselves down and calm ourselves down, and also to practice salam in our homes, encourage our children, encourage our brothers and sisters and parents. Maybe when they're having a fight or an argument, encourage salam. So instead of screaming, just walk away, make some dua, make some dhikr, calm down, go out even for a walk, it doesn't matter, it's fine. And then come back when you're ready to be calm and talk nicely, subhanAllah. Really, and then that negative moment has gone, it's broken the spell. It's broken the negative spell, and then inshallah ta'ala, it will become something positive. Now, the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he was talking to the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, one of the other amazing etiquettes that he had when he was encouraging other people to do good. So, for example, when one of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu went to Yemen to coach and teach the new Muslims about Islam, teach them to pray, and really teach them to be Muslim, the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to him, make it easy on the people and do not make it difficult. This is something that is so important with the people around you, my brothers and sisters. Sometimes we will use hadiths out of context and we will make them into a beating stick for other Muslims. So we might have a hadith about the salah, or we might have the hadith about something else, but when we're using that hadith, we're not using it in the way that it was meant. We might take an ayah from the Quran and use it to create hatred, subhanallah, and use it to create hatred and take peace away and make things difficult on the people. But when we look in the Quran and look in the hadith literature, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even when somebody has been sinning pretty badly, he always makes it easy on that person. He doesn't judge them in that particular way, subhanallah. So we must make sure that part of our etiquette, part of our behavior, part of our manners is to not be judgmental. There was an incident recently where the guy who did the Charlie Hebdo cartoons, I think he passed away in a car accident. And I was quite shocked because, of course, this guy did wrong. He spoke very badly about the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he made some really very offensive material and offensive pictures. But when I looked at the reaction, the ugly reaction of the Muslim ummah, and I'm not saying all the ummah, I'm saying some individuals started to be very happy that this guy had come to this difficult end, and started really saying very negative things on the social media. May I remind you, my brothers and sisters, and myself first, that the judgment is not for you and the judgment is not for me. The judgment is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially when somebody has passed away. You do not know what was in that man's heart when he passed away. What if he had become Muslim at the moment before the crash? You don't know that. I don't know that. What if he had really regretted what he'd done, but had never made it public and kept it in his heart? My dear brothers and sisters, we have to be too careful about what we're saying in public spaces, because once it's out there, khalas, it's out there and it's going to carry on. Keep it to yourself, my brothers and sisters. Say good, as the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. Speak good or keep silent. Subhanallah. So that's where I'm going to end today, my dear brothers and sisters. Jazakumullah khair for joining us. It's really, really nice again to be joining you on About Islam. So from me, Ustadha Ameena Blake, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawassaw bil haqq. Jazakumullah khair. I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.